Good day, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to AW TV. Today, we are going to be continuing with this thing. That last episode was a long episode. A long episode. So, I'm going to try to... Oh, I can't say no words. No good. I'm going to try to get Rufus out of here. And not Rufus, Bronco. Bronco and Rufus, my two best buddies. So, sidetrack. ADD much? All right, so I am going to try to keep this episode a little bit shorter than the last one. The last one was a bit long, and long, maybe some people like long, and I feel like the longer you go, the more boring you can get sometimes. So we are going to go a little bit quicker with this one. Gonna do quite a bit of cuts. So we finished this big thing, and as I talk, I'm just gonna be working on this real quick. Finish this big tower thing. The next thing that we need to be working on is these two little houses. If you remember right, I talked about how I'm gonna be putting in these two houses here, and that should go there. Yes, okay. I messed up when I did my outline. It doesn't really matter. Anyways, so I'm going to be doing these two exterior houses first before I go about really detailing this thing out. So obviously this thing needs a lot of detail on the outside. It's going to need windows. It's going to need little beautification marks, things like that. You know what I'm talking about. All the stuff that makes this thing look... Well, right now it looks a little bit boring. It looks kind of plain. So we gotta add all the details on the outside. First, before we do the outside, we gotta do the inside. But before we do any of that, we actually have to complete the main construction of this building. So what that starts with is building these outside little buildings here, and that is all about deciding on what size these things should be. How I think they're going to be the same floor level as in here. So we'll knock these things out and then putting the roof up. And I think I've pretty much decided that our roof is going to be, your standard, same style of roof that we have at the top. You'll see. Same style of roof, only just, a gable as opposed to just, the round pitch as we have up there. You'll see what I mean by that if you don't know what a gable is and other things like that. So I am going to do the main part of these and set up the roof, and then you'll see where we are. All right, ladies and gentlemen, finished my roof. Hooray! You can see inside here. It's all finished up. I think this area right here I'm going to have to figure out a little bit better. I think I'm honing in on this idea of what I want to do right here. In the movie Warcraft, they had a whole bunch of library areas down below and then a great big spiral staircase that came up to the top. And I think that's exactly what I want to do here. I think that's going to look really cool. And I'll have to figure out something to go up the middle. I don't think that anytime soon I'm going to be getting any sort of, what do you call them? The beacon blocks. So obviously that's something that I would love to do in the future, but I don't think I'm going to be doing that anytime soon. So for the time being, I'm going to have to figure out something to go up the middle there. I'm not really sure. It's got to be bright, maybe like lapis lazuli or something like that. Not really sure. So, take a look at this roof that I constructed here. And let's take Bronco out so we can do this a little bit quicker. Couldn't help detailing this thing out. I got on there and I was inspired a bit. And I got to detail in these roofs. Again, the inside of the area of the roof there, this area here, it's a little blank. I think I'm going to mess it up a little bit, make it look like it's maybe slightly dilapidated. Maybe you put a little windows in it, perhaps. I think a little window in the middle of the gable would look really nice. Something to just give it a little more character. You can see from back here sort of the design. It's a little difficult to see. There isn't a really great vantage point, which is somewhat disappointing because it looks really cool. As you can see, making use of that acacia wood block. I love the gray of it. And if it's pointing up like that, you don't really see the orange too bad. You can see the orange right there, but you don't really see the orange too bad. But that's a beautiful, beautiful gray. I love that color of gray. I'm not sure the difference between these two. I think this is more blue, maybe with a slightly purple tint to it. I really like that look. Obviously, here on the side of the roof, I want to explain to you my reasoning behind this. So in here, this is just a cool design that I thought would be really neat. Just putting in a cool design. I might on the inside here write these sort of blocks on the inside layer. I might do something a different color. I'm thinking perhaps, and you have to bear with me on this, sticking a nether rack in there. Nether rack's kind of an expensive thing to get. I have to mine a whole bunch of nether rock and then, smelt it or whatever. I do have the bloomery, so that shouldn't be too big of a deal. So I'm thinking like in these areas right here, that back area, doing a darker color just to sort of make it, give it a little more depth there. The reason why I'm doing all this here, especially with these, is because if you don't do any sort of anything hanging down, anything from this roof that goes into this, you get a really thick line, and you can see I've done it here as well. What you're looking for is a nice transition from this dark color into this light color right here. And what these little fence posts do for you is it gives you a really great transition from the dark wood of the roof down into the cobble here. Now obviously the cobble here, this isn't the final design. I'm sure that I'm going to be going through, I'll be doing cobble stairs just throughout in order to give it a little more depth. The reason, everything that we're doing in Minecraft is you're doing things to look for a little bit of depth. Right now, it's just sort of a flat, boring wall, and so we got to have the depth. Inside here, you can see, obviously, decoration on the inside. It's really easy to get depth. You just populate it with furniture and things like that. So in here we're going to be looking for tables. I think maybe a great big table over here. The rest of it, I really want it to be a great big library. So maybe a work area around here, library sections, library bookshelves everywhere. So maybe a circular bookshelf around the outside, and then a small circular bookshelves along the inside. And then back here we have other books that are maybe your more traditional library bookshelves that they just sort of go straight. Right here, this will exit out onto our, I think another way I'll maybe do an alternate way out around the top here. So if not all the way to the top, we'll go around the outside. And so you'll kind of have a walkway that goes around the outside top. And then right here you can see I finished up this this area where you have the witch or wizard, the wizard who does his little traditional ceremonies or something like that. So what I'm thinking, and maybe let's do this right now while we're here. What I'm thinking is doing something like this. So come back here. Let's see, we have everything we need. So we come back here and we go boom, 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 boom. Okay, so like that. We're going to need a half slab in a sec. Here we go. A few half slabs here. Okay. And so we're going to cut around the outside here. Again, just a little bit of building here for you guys so you can see my thought process. Now, I've been kind of thinking about this. You know, outside when you have like a camp area and you have an inlaid fireplace, that's the sort of thing that I'm looking at right here. And yeah, oh gosh, we need a few more half slabs. That's not quite gonna cut it. We need one more set. Here we go. Okay, inlaid fireplace here. And you know what I want in the middle there. I think you already know what I want. So I'm going to have to go back and get it, unfortunately. So give me just a sec. I'll go get it, and then we'll come right back to this very spot. You know what I'm looking at? I'm looking for this magma block, the beautiful magma block that we're constantly using now. That is a gorgeous block. Let me grab the flint and steel here. Okay, I know you can barely see that magma block down inside there, but the fact that it's there is just, you can see that moving texture in there, and it just makes campfires look beautiful. So, other thing that we got to add here, our wizard is gonna want an outside seating area, right, to sit and watch this fire. I said he's here. He's got his spells and incantations. Goodness gracious, what's going on with that? I said he's got his spells and incantations here. He's maybe some of these things take longer to do. Maybe it might be a situation where he's got to have a group of people here to help him out with it. So, you got guests over, you got people watching the fire. You need some special chairs there, for them to watch. And then, of course, right here, the special wizard's chair. Yeah, special wizard's chair closer into the fire. So maybe these people sit here and they sit down there and they listen and they watch the fire, and the wizard sits right over here, in the place of honor. And he tells the stories to these people about the days of old, the past old days when dragons ruled the earth and exciting things happened. I'm not really sure. I'm sort of making it up as I go along. So anyways, I think that's pretty cool. I have a couple more ideas, but for the most part, for this outside area, I think this looks pretty cool. So give me a sec. I have some ideas I want to put forward. Oh, look at all the burning guys. Hey, that's one of the new mobs. Hey, I haven't seen those guys yet. That's a new mob. I'm not really sure what those guys drop. I know they make you slow, shoot an arrow of slowing or something like that at you. I'm sure we'll be finding plenty of them when we decide to go build Agrabah. Okay, finish the thing up. I thought of something that would be kind of cool. These pressure plates, if you stick them on these acacia logs, you get this really interesting look. So these pressure plates, they don't exactly cover everything up. You still have just a little smidge of that orange showing through, which I think actually looks pretty neat. So you have this nice, gray, sort of gray, grimy, grungy area out here. I think, I might add a little green. So, like a bush here and a bush here. Just to, sort of give it that little bit of green in the area. Give it a little color. I don't know, maybe some red wool on either side or something like that. Just something to give it just a little bit of a zing. Other thing I did is I fixed up this table right here. So I figured if we thought, hey, this is the wizard's his chair of honor, so it better look like a lot better chair than the rest of these people. So he's got all this light around here, so they're out here maybe in the dark, and when he sits there, he's got the light on him with the circle of power, right? He looks like he's very powerful here, whereas they're just sort of sitting down here in the regular chairs listening to what he's doing. And then maybe he can throw stuff onto the fire and brilliant particles will come up. Oh, and there's my alarm. So that seems like a pretty good time to end the episode. Thank you for watching ADub TV. I hope this episode was good for you. We talked a little about roofs and then decorated this outside area. If you liked it, hit the like button. If you really liked it, hit the subscribe button. And if you didn't like it, then I hope to see you in the future when things get a little bit better. Thank you for watching, and I will talk to you all in the next episode of ADub TV.